1, 2, 3, go.
Hello, I have a special alert that I'd like to come to you. The special alert is about some major information concerning the mega California earthquake and the mega tsunami that's going to hit the East Coast. Once again, major alert, information I have that says when these events are going to happen. These events have been spoken of for many years. Concerning the California earthquake, many people have had dreams and visions about this. Same with the East Coast tsunami that is going to hit. Many people have had dreams and vision, and I tell you today, I have information that says when these things could possibly be happening. If Tokyo, Japan has a major earthquake on or near August 10th of the year 2015, that's this year, right this month. As we're recording it, today is August 4th. If Tokyo, Japan has a major earthquake on or near August 10th, there's going to be a series of events that will cripple the United States of America, killing many people, destroying much land, the likes of which has not happened since the days of Noah with the flood that hit many years ago. If Tokyo, Japan, I repeat, if Tokyo, Japan, on or near August 10th, 2015, has a major earthquake, it is certain that at the end of August, on the full moon, there will be a tsunami that'll hit the East Coast. A few days later, at the beginning of September, there is going to be the mega earthquake, the big one, that which has been predicted, seen in dreams and visions. It will happen this September, not long after the tsunami. Jesus himself has given us specific information telling us when these events are going to be happening. He has spoken through his prophets and his servants, and he has given specific information on these particular events, the tsunami and the earthquake. Let me ask you, how does the Lord speak? He does not come down, give information to anyone like it's going to happen on this particular date and this particular year. God doesn't work like that. He has a code. His code is that he speaks through his prophets and he speaks through his servants and he gives bits and pieces of information. And if you understand this and you put these bits and pieces of information together, it shows a picture, and it shows what he's going to do, where he's going to do it, and when he's going to do it. And in this particular situation, he paints a clear picture. So clear it has shaken me in my boots. I shudder with the information that's been given me. Anyways, here's what I want to do. I want to go over the bits of information that are sure. These bits of information come from the mouth of Jesus himself. And I like to give you the bits of information, tell you somewhat about the information, who gave it and where you can find it. And then at the end, I wanna take this information, we'll put it all together, and we'll see that there is a picture. The Lord gives times and he gives dates when these things are going to happen. when something happens to this magnitude, where there's going to be this great destruction on the west coast and this great tsunami on the east coast, many millions of people are going to die. It says that the Lord, it says in Amos 3:7, that the Lord does nothing unless he reveals his secret to his servants, the prophets. And then the prophets speak to us. They convey this information. Since the time that the Bible was written, how else does the Lord speak to us? It says in Joel 2:28, it says that in the end days that the Lord would pour out his Spirit upon all flesh. It said, your old men will dream dreams, your young men will see visions. Upon my servants and upon my handmaids will I pour out my Spirit. So this is how the Lord speaks. There are present-day prophets. There are normal present-day people that the Lord comes to and he gives them a dream. He shows them certain things. Sometimes he even speaks to them right in that dream with an audible voice. When this happens, when a person gets a dream or a vision, there is information that is given in these events that if we focus on it, we give it extreme attention, we can see what the Lord is saying. This is how the Lord is speaking to his church today. This is how he speaks to everyone, through his prophets and through his servants. Anyways, concerning the bits of information, the first thing that Jesus has spoken is that the California mega earthquake will hit in the month of September. I'm going to show you in a little bit where this comes from. But I tell you right now, it cannot happen in any other month. It has to happen in the month of September. Also, he has showed us what triggers all these events. I need to talk about this because this is the most important thing at this time. That's what the alert is for. That's what the warning is for. He has also said that before the earthquake in September hits California, that there's a major sign to look out for. There's a major alert to look out for. And that this alert would happen 2 to 3 weeks before the big earthquake hits. And that is Tokyo, Japan will have a major earthquake. And it's got to be big enough that it'll send a 20 to 30 foot tsunami to the west coast. I repeat, this is the sign. This is what you need to look for. Jesus said that Tokyo, Japan will have a major earthquake that'll send a 20 to 30 foot tsunami to the west coast. I'll show you where I got this information. That's 2. 3, Jesus has given a vision to a man that a 300 foot tsunami is going to hit the east coast. And in this vision, he gives this man the date on when it's going to happen. And the date is sometime between August 20th and August 21st. Now I want to make something clear. Jesus never gives the date. He doesn't say 2015 it's going to happen. No, it's not how God operates. When he gives these bits of information, we need to collect it, and at the end we'll put it together. But once again, a man had a vision from the Lord of a 300-foot tsunami hitting the east coast, and the date that he said it was going to happen was August 20th to August 31st. The fourth piece of information is that Jesus has spoken that there are going to be meteors that are going to hit the earth. These meteors are going to land in the ocean. These meteors are going to be what causes these tsunamis. Number 5, the order of these devastating events. He gives us the order of these devastating events and how they will unfold. First is going to be 3 meteors hitting the ocean. Second is going to be the tsunamis that are generated from the meteors. Third is going to be the California megaquake. He has given us the order of these events. And I will show you these things very soon. The last bit of information. These things are for sure. This information. The last thing is when it all begins. He has made it clear it all begins on a full moon. I repeat, he has said that these things, he has revealed that these things are all going to begin, they're all going to start on a full moon. There's only 12 full moons in a month. So, bear with me. I'll get to the importance of that later. All right, let's get to the specifics of these 6 points, this information, of these for sure things that we know of. There's a site where I got this information. Just a little prelude here. The reason I found this information is I have a daughter who moved down to Southern California 5 years ago. And a couple of years after, I came across all these people that have had these dreams and visions of the California earthquake. And some of these go back hundreds of years. In looking for that, I came across all kinds of people that had dreams and visions of the East Coast tsunami. And mega, I mean big wave. This isn't little stuff. Well, anyways, I have pursued this because I want to get my daughter out of harm's way. I begged the Lord. I says, Lord, if you're going to do this, you need to give me a heads up. I need to know when you're going to do this so I can take my daughter out of harm's way. So anyways, I found this site. It's called quakeup.org. The man who put it together, his name is Bill Weather. In this site, there's 11 testimonies. And just to give you a general outlay, it's about the California earthquake itself. It's also about a small wave. These people talk about a small wave that hits the West Coast. And then at a later time, 2 to 3 weeks later, there's a mega tsunami that hits the West Coast. But what I want to key in on concerning the first point, which is that Jesus reveals to us that this is going to happen in September, is on 3 of these testimonies. During the vision or the dream, Jesus speaks himself. And in the information, if you take the information of what he says and what he speaks, it gives an amazing clear picture on what he's going to do and when he's going to do it. So anyways, I just want to read the bits and pieces of this information on this website in the section of the California mega earthquake. There's a gal. Her name is Michelle. She was standing on the coast, northern part of California, and she saw a 20 to 30 foot wave as far to the south and as far to the north as she could see. She was suddenly taken up to a bird's eye view, and she could see that as far as she could look, this wave was coming in. And she heard a voice, and this is what the voice said. This is the first wave before the earthquake in September. All right, we got some information. This is the first wave. There's going to be another one before the earthquake in September. Okay. Later on, she tests to see if this comes from the Lord. So she asked, right after she got the vision, she asked the Lord, if this is you, confirm it. Jesus spoke again, and this is what he said. Yes, this is a true picture of the warning that'll come upon the West Coast. This warning is to prepare my people for what is coming. Know that this is true. Tell my people that when they see this tsunami happen, to move away from the West Coast. Now he calls this small wave a tsunami. Tell my people to move away from the West Coast. I am a God of judgment, but also a God of mercy. As my people call out to me, I will protect them, and I will bring them out of harm's way. Lean upon me, and not your own understanding. All right, there's another gentleman who, his name's Austin. He was in prayer. He was fasting, and he was in prayer, and he heard an audible voice. And this is what the audible voice said. Let my people heed this warning. After Japan goes, a tsunami will hit the Sin coast. Watch out for the San Andreas slipping and the Long Valley Caldera. I want to repeat this. Let my people heed this warning. After Japan goes, a tsunami will hit the Sin coast. Watch out for the San Andreas slipping and the Long Valley Caldera. He says right here, after Japan goes, there's going to be a tsunami. Obviously, he's talking about after there's an earthquake, there's going to be a tsunami that's going to hit the Sin coast. California. He said, watch out for the San Andreas slipping in the Long Valley Caldera. He goes on to say, watch out for the San Andreas. Brief little bit of information. The San Andreas Fault runs all the way through California, south to north. It runs 700 miles. They just recently put out a movie a month ago about, it's called San Andreas, and it's about the megaquake that'll hit someday. Check that movie out. But anyways, he says right here, watch for the San Andreas slipping and the Long Valley Caldera. That goes up out of California, up towards Yellowstone. All right, there's a third person out of these testimonies where Jesus speaks audibly. There's this girl named Danielle. She's got a vision. And in this vision, there's a voice talking to her. And here's what the voice said. When they hear the earthquake in Tokyo on the radio, they must flee immediately. What? When they hear of the earthquake in Tokyo on the radio, they must flee immediately. Look at this piece of information. Jesus said right here, when they hear of the earthquake in Tokyo, okay, he's being specific. There's going to be an earthquake in Tokyo. He says, when they hear of that on the radio or the internet, it's time to flee. Now, please, go to this site, quakeup.org. Bill Weather put it together. In there, people talk about there's a 2 to 3 week release from the small wave to the big wave, the small tsunami to the mega tsunami. Talks about the earthquake itself. There's more information, but I'm focusing on this because these are the words that came out audibly to these people in the dreams and the visions. And the Lord, here this guy goes on a 2-day fast, and the Lord's right in the guy's room speaking to him. This is important information. Also, in these 10-11 testimonies that are there, 4 people, including Jesus himself, said it's going to happen in the month of September. 4 people said it. Remember what it says in Deuteronomy 19:15, in the mouth of 2 or 3 witnesses, let a matter be established. Here there's 4. This is a major site to go check out concerning this information. Anyways, number 2, which is the trigger. Remember, what warns us of all these events is that Tokyo, Japan has a mega earthquake sending a 20-foot tsunami. We just went over all that. That is all documented in this same website by Bill Weather at quakeup.org. Check it out. I don't want to reiterate on that, but I do want to say that with the specific date or the month that Jesus said it was going to happen, September, in that specific month, this tsunami has to happen before. So August is a major. This is when the trigger or the sign of the California earthquake would happen. Number 3, the vision to the man that the Lord gave concerning the 300-foot tsunami that hit the East Coast. This guy's name is Bill Larkin. You go to YouTube, you Google Bill Larkin. He's got different videos, but go to the 7-minute video, and it's about the East Coast tsunami. Well, in this vision, real short, in this vision, Jesus took him across the Atlantic, showed him this 300-foot wave, and he watched it as it hit the East Coast. He was talking about the pandemonium, how people were trying to get out of there. Then the Lord took him above North America, showed him a picture of the map, and showed him how much land that this tsunami took and how it altered the United States, how it altered the East Coast, the Gulf. He even gives some stuff on the West Coast. But anyways, a couple of things that I remember he said. 2 states were no more. He said New Jersey was underwater. It's no more. He also said Florida is no more. These tsunamis, the tsunamis that hit in the different locations, they wiped Florida out. Okay. Also, there is a gal by the name of Dr. Patricia Green. She was given a vision. She had 3 separate visions of the tsunami that was going to hit the East Coast. And on the 3rd one, the Lord, she was walking with the Lord, and the Lord was showing her all of these visions was a big wave coming on land, on shore. And on the 3rd one, Jesus spoke to her. She was walking next to Jesus, and this is what Jesus said. This wave will hit the East Coast. He said, warn the people to get out. This mighty wave will devastate coastal cities and will wash inland for many miles. He said that Florida will be decimated. Washington, D.C. will be underwater. New York Harbor will flood. Will flood the city of New York. In North Carolina, the water will go all the way up to the Appalachian Mountains. He said, there are those that will not believe what you are reporting. They will perish in the wave. Millions of people will lose their life. And then he went on to say, nothing of this magnitude happens upon the earth unless he speaks it through. He said, unless I speak it through my prophets. I have shown many of my prophets this tsunami, and they are also reporting it will happen. Then she goes on to quote Amos again, surely the Lord God does nothing unless he reveals his secret to his servants, the prophets. My goodness, these are the words of Jesus himself. This isn't Dr. Patricia Green describing what she saw. These are the words that Jesus spoke to her while he was next to her. And in that vision, she was shown the big wave coming to hit the earth. Well, here's what he says. This wave will hit the East Coast. Very specific. So anyways, number 4. is, let's see, on our chart here, I want to be very specific. On our chart, number 4, remember, 3 meteors hit the Earth. So, anyways, there's a gal by the name of Virginia Boldea. In 1997, she was just ready to go to sleep. She had her headphones on and her eyes closed, and she was given a vision. And in this vision, she saw an angel standing on a cloud, and the angel blew the trumpet. And she said, in the sky, she saw comets. And she said, they seem to be peaceful. Let me just read it. There were a handful of comets in the sky, which looked to be peaceful. Suddenly, 3 of them, all different sizes, began to head toward the Earth. When they hit the ground, there was total devastation. I saw another man standing on another cloud. He was very tall, dressed in white, with his hands raised high. Each time he moved his hands, fireballs would come out of his fingers. I looked awestruck at the man's height and the way his face shone and radiated. The man said, "This will be the beginning of the pain that I will allow upon the earth." Let's go back up here again. Remember, she saw 3 comets in the sky, and she said suddenly 3 of them, mark this, 3 of them started to come to the earth very fast, and they struck, and it says that they did great devastation. Okay, there's another gal concerning a vision with the meteors. Her name is Ann Peterson, and she was in prayer one day, and she asked the Lord, she said, "Lord, can you tell me what's coming?" It was a real generic question, and she says the answer was anything but generic. And this is what she had to say. She said that all of a sudden she was thrust into a vision, and she saw a map of North America, of the United States, and she said suddenly she saw 3 fireballs racing across the heavens, and they crashed. And she said the first one hit the Gulf of Mexico. The second one hit on the East Coast near Florida. The third one hit farther out in the Atlantic. All right, real briefly, there's another guy. His name was Ephraim Rodriguez, and he was given a vision 41 years ago, and he just saw 1 meteor, but this meteor struck over near the Puerto Rico, over near the Virgin Islands, and he's got a long message, and he describes all the destruction, how it affected the east coast of America, how it affected the Gulf, how it affected Mexico, went down into South America. He talks greatly about the devastation here. I want you guys to check these testimonies out. You can find this in a message on YouTube. It's called Meteors, the Destruction of America, and it comes from Stan Johnson at the Prophecy Club. Now, just to let you know, Stan Johnson, he's been in the ministry for 30+ years. He's a watchman on the wall. He's been called to warn the people of the things that are coming. This is right up his alley, and he has a message that documents these meteors, these comets, these asteroids, call it what you will. He documents it in a message on YouTube called Meteors, the Destruction of America. Go there and check these things out. Okay, number 5, the order of events. This is the order of the events and how they will unfold. Now, I just want to just briefly review this. We talked about the mega California earthquake, dreams and visions given by specific people, words that Jesus spoke to these people in these visions, dreams and visions. So we have the California earthquake, we have the mega tsunami that's going to hit the East Coast, and now we went over the 3 meteors, and then the Efrain Rodriguez had 1 meteor vision. And so these are the 3 events. These are the 3 events that we're talking about. Jesus gives a specific order in how they're going to unfold. And anyways, first is going to be the meteors. Second is going to be the tsunamis. Third is going to be the California mega earthquake. Where do we get this information? Well, you remember how I talked about Dr. Patricia Green, how she was given 3 visions in a 14-day period. This was April of the year 2013. Well, after the things that the Lord spoke to her concerning this, the Lord spoke to her and gave her some information that speaks clearly of the order of these events. So anyways, here's what the Lord said to her. The United States of America is about to swing into a new season. At first, it will be a prosperous time, but it will be short-lived. Next, it'll be a season of devastation from all directions. The first devastation will hit. When she is reeling from that one, the next one will be right on its heels. When it looks like it cannot get any worse, indeed it will. These series of devastating events will cripple your nation and bring her to her knees. She will realize that she is no longer a powerful nation like she once was. Now listen very carefully to this. Look to the skies, you will see the first devastation. Look to the seas, you will see the next devastation. Look to the earth, and you will see the third devastation. I, the Lord of the heavens and the earth, and beneath the earth, have spoken. I got to go over this information one more time. He just said we're going through a period of devastation after a little time of prosperity. We're in that right now. We're going to go through a period of devastation. When he said, let me just read it.